I just realized I've been muted this whole time and talking to myself. Hello, everyone. I am hopping on here to talk about cycling, which should be fun. You'll notice that this tank is a bit messier than it normally is. I was doing maintenance on it yesterday and today. I'm trying to remove a lot of the hair algae that's in it from something that happened back in October, which was my CO2, my DIY CO2 backed up into this tank. And it was sugar and yeast. And it crashed the whole aquarium. I had a lot of issues. I had to take out all the fish. It was a disaster. So ever since then, I've been ripping out hair algae, trying to control the plants, making sure the fish are all right. It's been a lot. Hi, y'all. Sorry about that. I was sitting here about to get into the topic, and I smell something like plastic burning smell, like a plastic burning smell. I'm like, what is that? And then I had to mute. I kind of like figure out what was going on. And eventually, I had to move the camera, so I turned everything off. Sorry about that. I think it was my phone charger that was overheating. Since it was warm when it was unplugged, and now that it's unplugged, I don't smell anything anymore. So sorry about that. That was exciting in the wrong way. All right, well, I'm thrown like way off. That was scary. Yeah, it's never fun, LDH. I'm sorry about that. Let me take a minute, calm down. Okay. Well, I'll talk a little bit more about the tank that we're looking at, and then the tank that I'm going to work on here in a little bit while I'm talking about cycling. So this one I was just doing some maintenance on, and I was talking about how I was trying to remove a lot of the hair algae, and the reason that I got hair algae is because I was doing DIY CO2. And back in October, it backed up into the tank, and it was sugar and yeast, and it crashed the tank. I had to take everything out. It was gross, and there was like a layer of slime on the bottom that I had to suck up almost every day. But every single fish made it, so that's a good thing. I didn't have one death. I think that once I started seeing signs that the fish were not doing well, I pulled them out. And that's another thing that people kind of don't think about, like having to cycle a tank after it's crashed. And what does that look like? What does it mean? And like, I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding about what a cycle is or could be, or how it fundamentally works. I was going to ask what exactly you meant by DIY CO2 because I use the DIY, but with a pressurized cylinder, etc. I've had great success with it. Yeah, LDH. So, it was like the 2 liter bottle, and then another bottle, and tubing, and a diffuser that went in. One bottle was filled with water, like sugar water, and yeast. It would go into another bottle, and a much smaller bottle, which was my mistake, and then it would go into the tank. But the pressure had built up so much that it basically filled up the little bottle and popped everything open, and the diffuser smacked against the tank, and that's what alerted me to it, because I heard a big ping noise, like glass smashing against glass. And luckily for me that the tank didn't break, but the diffuser did, which sucked. So basically what I did was, for about a month, I took the fish out, and once it cleared up, it's like it was pretty much complete. It wasn't completely crashed, so it still had some cycle to it because of the beneficial bacteria that was already in the tank, hiding in the crevices of the rocks, and in the filter, and in the substrate, on the sides of the glass, in the algae, everywhere. So luckily it did not take that long to fully cycle it back up. There was a lot of water changes, which did not help. Let's see. I feel a little bit better knowing this kit was made to handle the pressure. I know this isn't the topic, but did that scare you away from CO2? No, I just don't do the bottle method. And I always did the CO2 for a small amount of time to help new plants, or help grow out some plants, or it was never long term. I'd like to do a topic on introducing CO2, having it for a short period of time, and then removing it in a way that doesn't kill your plants. I think that would be a fun topic. Let's see. So, cycling a tank that was already once cycled is a lot different than cycling a tank for the first time. Most of the time, you just kind of take the fish out and leave it be. I'd say that my number one advice for people, when people come and ask me about their tanks and how to set up a tank, or how the cycle works in general, is to leave it alone. I feel like I'm saying that to myself, not myself, to so many people that come up and talk, or I'm in groups with them or whatnot. I constantly find myself saying, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Especially if there's no fish in it, leave it alone. All right. Let's check out the Wasteland tank. I love this tank. It is a little bit of a shock when you first see it now. So Don't blame me. When you're like, what is that? Why is it so green? Well, trying to grow algae. I got the wrong kind. I did add some of that hair algae into it because it has fish eggs in it. Just the ball that you see was added. Here. A handy. This was the only thing that was added because it has Medaka eggs on it and I couldn't throw it away. All of this stuff that's growing on the substrate was grown in the tank. So I'm going to remove that with y'all today and talk a little bit about cycling. Because this tank is cycling, growing algae, but cycling. Let me just pop y'all up on my we're going on the floor for a second. Let me get down to y'all's level for now. Are we talking about cycling a tank or cycling media? Because having cycled media already vastly reduces the need for a cycled tank per se. So earlier I was talking about in the event of a previously cycled tank crashing, that what you need to do is take out the fish and leave it alone. Currently, we'll touch on cycled media and like sumps and stuff in a little bit, but right now we're talking about tanks. I know LDH. I know that net handle. LOL. I love those nets. They're I think I got this at the last Aquarium Nation Expo in December here. Also, cycle is a relative term to load. So a cycle for a couple of fish is different from a cycle needed for a large community tank with high population. That is correct. I wanted to talk about specifically right now is the nitrogen cycle. So, and like scientifically what that is and how that can apply to pretty much anything that you cycle and why bioloads are important, why air stocking is important, why filtering is important, all that. So while I tear out some of this algae, try and remove the eggs from this, I have limited room here, so I might have to go into the back. Let me ouch, hold on. Let me see. Okay, great. So it looks like you can see always good it's hard to do the comments over here. Let's see. Looks like going to use my all right. Yes, we love the way this. All right. Let's see how far I can get in here. Okay, it looks like right here is right on it. There we go. Got a lot of it there. All right. Let me go back in front. Got this crypt hanging out here. So I've been cycling this tank for a little over a month. I think this is the algae that has eggs on it, so I want to check it first. Hi, Whip. Just, taking out algae. Well, right now I'm not. Sitting on the floor looking at algae. Trying to find a This is like a nice chunk of algae. Throw the snails back in. Well, since I've seen eggs on these front pieces of algae, what I'm going to do is this is a old yogurt container. What I'm gonna do I'm going to take some of the water out, just enough, and to keep that algae hydrated. And I'm going to also move that over. There's still algae I need to grab. So I've been cycling this tank for about 4 weeks, a month, and I don't consider this tank cycled. The amount of hair algae here also tells me that it's not cycled. Excuse me. I'm losing bladder snails, which tells me that the ammonia levels are high. Which isn't good. So, yeah, I'm testing. I use strips. So I can't say for sure 100%. But since I do test every day when I'm cycling, because it's just the kind of person I am, I use strips. I use the aquarium co-op ones. They're okay. So whatever the strip is, everything's kind of at medium except for the last one. Hold on. Is it nitrates aren't I, or hold on, or are they? I'm dyslexic, so I make up these little like things to remember. I never remember. So it's ammonia turns into nitrite, which turns into nitrate, right? I'm probably wrong. I mix this up all the time. I'll have to look on this. Okay. Yeah, so it's nitrite. Ite isn't ite. All right. I hate that. I almost had you. So I turned off the I unconnected the air pump from it so I could work on it without everything blowing around. This substrate was taken out of my 5-gallon and put into a bucket now. It is not my only tank. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks and 2 jars with fish in them. Well, the little 1/2-gallon does not technically have fish in it. It has snails. All right. Looks like all the algae's gone. Why not move some established media? I have been. I'll get to. Okay, so I think that I should talk about why I don't consider this cycle. First of all, it's not. It just simply is not. I'm using a Matten filter, and one of the drawbacks I don't hear people saying about Matten filters is that they take a long time to do anything, including grow enough beneficial bacteria to have a cycled tank. Now, hold on. Let's see. See if I can get y'all. Not at the ceiling. See back here. All right. Besides the snails, this is you see that? This is filter floss. That's filter floss from my sponge filters, and to make the aquarium co-op course filter pick up a bit more of the finer things in my aquariums and stuff that middle full of filter floss, and then I keep it in a bucket, and then it's now in here. I squeezed a few filters into this. The nastiest, it's just there's a lot of surface to be covered with the Matten filter. Not really impressed so far with having the Matten filter. It has been a lot more work than I thought. This crypt. Look how cool. Where am I? There. See if it looks better in the water. Can you see it now? It's really cool. I'm letting it float because it needs more roots. That's bent weirdly. All right, hold on. Let me dry my hands. Hold on, let me pick y'all up. So what's your ammonia source? Rotten food. Decomposing food. Hold on. I don't like adding there's a brand that does like liquid ammonia for tanks. So, I just feed it like there were fish in there. I also feed the snails, and the snails make waste, so that's why they're in there. They're bladder snails and some ram's horns. Ram's horns, I've noticed, make it through cycles better than bladder snails. I'm just confused how you already have established tanks that are waiting a month for the new tank to cycle. So, again, I think it's because of the Matten filter. I don't know. So, like, the tank in front of us right now, cycled in about 2 weeks. The 10 gallon cycled in about 6 weeks. I think it has to do a lot with temperature as well, since the tanks aren't heated. This tank in front of us right now was cycled in March, when it was much warmer consistently. And the one below this one that I was just showing y'all where I was pulling out the algae was cycled when it was colder. So I'm wondering if that beneficial bacteria wasn't multiplying quickly because the water was cold. I also wonder if it's because of the Matten filter just not the air pump might not be strong enough and not forcing enough water through the Matten filter to catch the beneficial bacteria, and it's like half cycled. I don't know. Thank you, SC. SC Catahula. Catahulas. There should be a link pinned if you want to join and come. If anybody wants to join and come talk. I like talking. Let me go check over here. I'm not sure if y'all can still hear me. You know. Now I'll switch. It's alright. No one has to. It's just if somebody wants to. Let's see. It's been about an hour since I put up the poll, so before I started streaming. Let's see. I'm glad I put the other option. A lot of people. Let's end the poll. So a lot of people said 6+ weeks, and no, it should not take 6+ weeks for you to cycle your tank, unless you're doing efficient cycling. Then it can take months, depending on how you do it. It should. If you're setting up a brand new tank, take between 4 to 6 weeks. And if you have an established tank, which you take into the account, it should take 4 weeks. For the people who said other, I do have a question. Do you mean to say that it can be more than one of these options or something else? It takes me 1 day to cycle a tank. I chose hard. I forgot I could do this now. It takes me 1 day to cycle a tank. I chose hard. I don't think I've ever had a tank cycle for me in a day. Not completely. So, how do I put media into a tank and then put a fish in? Like, squeeze a filter into. Let's see. Let me mute my other thing. Can y'all hear me now? I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Oh, hold on. Let me fix that. Is it echoing at all? I don't think I can hear myself anymore. Okay. Is it any better? Okay, hold on. Okay, can you all hear me better now? Let's go back up. Okay, let's see. So right now I'm setting up 4 new tanks. I have 4 sponge filters, 1 for each tank, running in other established tanks for a couple weeks now. When I fill the new tanks with water, they get an established sponge and a nice good squeeze from a filter that needs cleaning. Okay. Yeah, so I think that my issue is that I'm using like I don't know how to here. Let's zoom y'all out a little. It's my goth guppy over there. I'm using that's dog hair. But I'm using a like a sheet of sponge in the bottom tank. And um I think the issue is that the air pump isn't strong enough to pull the water through the sponge well enough to get the beneficial bacteria sitting in it. So let's see. Okay. So here. This is a mat, right? And then you get a PVC pipe and you stick it behind. And there's like that little L connector piece. And it goes through like this, right? And then you have like one of these sticking out like this, right? Y'all probably know how a mat and filler works, right? So the pump has to go up all this way to pull the water in. And then it like sucks from the bottom, it comes up, and then all this water passes through. So I think that my issue is that the water isn't getting pushed through enough because the air pump isn't strong enough. Hi, Ron. Okay, good. It looks like it's fixed. And hopefully that explanation went through. If impulse buy a new fish and don't have a tank ready, what do you do? I normally grab stuff from another tank to quick fill a container for a quarantine tank. Yep, that's about it. I have these little like 4.5 gallon tanks that I throw things in all the time. And then I don't cycle them. I just do water changes. Like a hospital tank. I have a few times just squished a sponge filter in water, old tank water, and poured it in for a new sponge filter to suck it up. I have an air stone at the bottom of the uplift tube. I think that the air pump is, even though it's for 20 gallons, I don't think it's strong enough. I think that I'm going to need like 40 or 60. I think that's why it's not cycling properly. Because when I look down at it, right, the water flow is super slow. So that's a 10-gallon tank down here. But yep, that's the tank that I'm talking about. This thing. You know, I got this tripod not too long ago, and I don't like it. Half the time, it doesn't do anything that I want it to do. All right. It's been an hour. I don't think that I got my main point out at all. Okay. We talked about why I don't think my 10-gallon is cycling properly. So I think I'm going to talk a little bit about how. No. I'm sorry. At the beginning of the stream, my phone charger got all overheated, and I thought my house was going to burn down. So, sorry. This wasn't exactly how I envisioned this stream going when it started like that. All right. I'll be on talking about another topic next week, this time, same time, an hour from now. No, an hour before now. Sunday. It will be the same format, so if anybody wants to come up and chat, that's fine. If not, that's also fine. This Wednesday, we are going to be discussing the Cichlid book. Let's see. It's called Success with Cichlids from Lake Malawi and Lake Malawi and Lake Tanganyika. I've gone through about half of this book already with notes on almost every single page. I'm not a cichlid keeper, so I do have questions for people who might be. There's some pretty interesting things in the book. If you join my Discord, my link tree is in my bio. You can access the Discord. I have a whole channel for the book club. So it's like a picture of the book that I have, and then it describes the book club. So the book club is going to be every Wednesday after Dan's Fish live stream. So approximately 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. What? Not 8, 7, 7:30 Pacific, I think. And that would be 8:30 Mountain. Yeah, there we go. Approximately. I do watch Dan's Fish, so I will be on like 5 minutes after he is done. So, for about an hour to an hour and a half, we'll discuss the book. If you've read the book or have any questions about the book, want to suggest another book, I'll have a little section at the end. Also, it'll just do, there's like this little thing that you can do on YouTube, which it's like Q&As, so I'll answer those at the end. It's going to be vertical, so I can, well, to be honest, so I can get my watch time for shorts, since I'm not putting those out. I want to just do one of these and one of those each week. It's also easier for me. I don't have to use StreamYard. I can just use YouTube, and it's fine. So, again, the book is by an author I cannot find anything about. Her name is, let me check. Sadine Malik. Hi, George. So, the book is by Celine Malik, and it talks about a whole bunch of stuff. I'll be right back, guys.